Hey, I've got some good news for you. It's not the end. Hang on. This is just the beginning, guys. I know there's been this sense of this deep unsettling in this season. There's been a real pulling back, slowing down. There's been this sense for a lot of us almost feeling like you got the wind sucked out of your sails, like you've kind of, had that wind knocked out of you and you've been trying to pick yourself back up and get going. But, I just see the Lord in his gentleness, and he's just got his hands on you. And sometimes when we fall down, we just want to get up as quickly as we can and we want to move forward. But I see the Lord has come in and he's just so tenderly been slowing us down. And he's been inviting us into this place of this deep place of intimacy, in this place of healing, in this place where he has been doing some finishing touches on us so that we can step into the next thing. Hello, Gail Davies, Tamara Bali, good to see you ladies. And so the Lord has been doing this deep work, and there's been this time of release. There's been this time of letting go, and so there's this window of time for us to just continue to, not give up, not turn and run the other way, but just to relax in his presence, to release everything that, that's been brewing on the inside. The Lord, he's just pulling out. He's pulling out. There are these, I see these roots, and it's like there's these roots that have been gone so down deep inside of our hearts. And it's like, I have this picture. It's like, when we pull the weeds out, but it's like if you pull out a dandelion and you don't get the actual root, like you don't dig down, but we just keep pulling off the plant, the green and the yellow flower, and then it just comes back up again. Some of us spiritually and emotionally, we've been in that place where we've just been pulling the weed off, but we haven't been getting to the root. And so the Lord has slowed us down, and he's just in his mercy and his kindness has kind of put the brakes on some things. And he's saying, let me get deep down and pull out those roots so that in this next season, you do not have to wrestle and you do not have to face the same things over. He's breaking cycles. Even right now, he's setting people free. There's a level of healing and deliverance that he wants to bring, but there's this needfulness of us to surrender, to slow down, and to let him do the surgery that he wants to do. And so will you let him? Will you let him? Because guys, we have something so exciting, so exciting. One of the things with emerging prophets, part of the DNA is a victorious eschatology. We have our best days are yet to come. Forget about people who say, oh, it's just getting worse and worse, darker and darker. It's just going to get worse until the end. No. What is the answer? Yes, there is darkness, but we turn on the light, and light expels the darkness. And so instead of having this, yes, we're in the days of building and in the days of war. These things are true, but we need to rise and shine because we have these great and glorious days ahead of us. And so guys, you may feel knocked down. You may feel like you've just been, and I sense that there's a lot of, the Lord is releasing grief. There's a need to release grief, and there's a need to release pain. Some of us, it's like we have been trying to hold it together and keep it together, because we don't want to let our weaknesses, our pain show, and, for people to think that it's weakness, and so we've been trying so hard to just keep things together and keep moving forward. But the Lord wants us to be able to come undone before him, to just allow ourselves to be before him, to be naked and unashamed. And he wants to take us into the places of our deepest pain and our deepest vulnerabilities. And he is getting at the roots. There are roots that are going down. And just, I use that analogy of the weeds. You can't just keep cutting off the fruit that's at the top, because if until the root is dealt with, it's not going to, like, it's going to keep coming back. You know, and so lay yourself bare before him and let him do the open heart surgery that he wants to do for you here and now in this time. Because we are about to slip into our next period of building, of advancement, and of acceleration. But if we still carry the wounds and the baggage of the past with us and don't have a way of releasing and processing and getting those roots out, we're not going to be able to move full speed ahead and experience the fullness of what God has for us. So I want to give you permission. I want to give you permission to let the tears flow. And I want to give you permission to weep over the pain of grief and trauma, and to allow, you know, it's a sense of like, there's been a, you know, there in Ecclesiastes, it talks about like, there's a time for everything, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time, you know, and I feel like there's this time, there's this time of grieving, and the Lord wants us to get all of our grief out and to release it so that it can come to an end. He can shut the door on it and we can move forward with these new garments that he has for us. It's time to take off the funeral garments, the grave clothes. He wants to clothe us in joy. And as we submit ourselves to this process and allow him to do this deep work on the inside of us, this open heart surgery as it is, like, feel like there is pain. Some of you, you know, and I feel like there's people who are, you're either watching now or you're going to watch later, and you feel physical pain in your body. And the physical pain in your body is actually a symptom of the stress and the emotional and the spiritual turmoil and everything, and the stress of like trying to keep it together and not allowing yourself to process and release the pain. Yeah, Tamara, time to weep. Time to weep, time to release. You know, and the Lord was also reminding me about forgiveness before I got on to do this Facebook Live. Because, you know, I did a prophetic consultation with someone this week, and I was just sharing this with her, and it was just such a good reminder for me. And it was about the power of forgiveness, you know, because guys, until we release forgiveness to all parties involved, we can't fully heal and move on from something. You know, and so it's like we have to think of layers of forgiveness in whatever situations you're facing, what are those roots? What is the bitterness holding on to? How is it, you know, where is it? What's the hold that you can't pull it out? You know, forgiveness, forgive the person who hurt you. Forgive yourself. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you made a mess. Forgive yourself, forgive the people who hurt you, and then forgive God. You know, because sometimes we, you know, and I had this, you know, this religious perspective, which is kind of, it's not a wrong perspective. It's just like, well, God is perfect and he doesn't do anything wrong. So why would I ever need to forgive him? But you know what, guys? Sometimes we, even though God doesn't do anything wrong and he doesn't need to repent, but sometimes we have hard feelings for the circumstances and the trauma and the pain, the things that we walk through, that we get angry at him and we get bitter, and we allow these roots of bitterness to take hold in our heart, and it causes a wall to come up between him and us. And then we wonder why we can't go deep in intimacy, and we wonder why we can't hear his voice with great clarity. And it's because there's this wall that's like a chasm, you know, and it's just it feels like we, you know, our prayers are just bumping off, but we have the power to take down the walls between him and us by releasing forgiveness. But here's the powerful thing, you know, so forgiveness is a very basic message. John wrote an incredible book on grace and forgiveness, you know, because when we choose to not forgive, we are actually taking it. So if someone offends you and you say, I will not forgive them, then God has to deal with you in the way that you're dealing with them. So as soon as you say, no, I will not extend grace and mercy to this person, I demand judgment for them, then God cannot extend grace and mercy to you, and he must demand judgment for you. So forgiveness is essential. But, have you had those times where, I've had a few, if you have a really painful situation, or, relationship where you're like, there was a severing and you're just like, okay, I keep forgiving, but it still hurts. I still think of the person. I still get angry. I'm still so broken. Like, and you just wonder like why, and you forgive and it just keeps irritating you. And the enemy keeps whispering, like, oh, things about this person in this situation. And you're just like, you just can't get to the root of it. And sometimes this is what, a friend shared with me, and it was really powerful. She said, sometimes we can forgive from our mind. We can mentally assent to forgive, and we choose with our intellect, yes, I will forgive this person because I know about grace and mercy and judgment, and I want to make sure I'm on the right side. And so I will forgive you. You hurt me, you wronged me, but I bless you, I forgive you. And we do it with our mind. But sometimes these woundings and these pains that we endure, they actually penetrate to the deep places of our inner being. Sometimes, guys, that inner child, there's an inner child on the inside that sometimes was hurt and wounded. And so if that inner child part of you, if there is an area, and sometimes we get stuck there, sometimes we can have a wounding in early childhood that if it doesn't get healed properly, it can result in us being stuck and emotionally immature, so we got to heal that part up, and be able to grow it up in Christ. But sometimes, so if that wounding hits that deep place and that there's that place of pain, it's like, if you want to fully forgive and release, you have to allow yourself to feel. You have to be able to get in touch with the depths and the pain and the reality of what is going on inside. What is your narrative? What is happening? And maybe logically you can reason things out, but your inner child has a different perspective. And so it's like you need to feel the pain of it. You need to allow yourself to process it and release it. And from the place of pain, from the place of wounding, that is the place you need to get in touch with that so you can forgive from that place and you can release that pain and that grief and that trauma. And then the Lord can come in and can heal and can fill and can grow up the emotionally immature parts of you and can restore. And guys, I personally walked through this. I've been going after inner healing a lot in the last year, but in the last few years, like maybe the last two or 3 years, I think almost 3 years ago, I went for my first RTF session, like a week long restoring the foundation, because I knew like I'd never done a thorough, where I go through all the sins of the fathers, have someone like deal with my story, my issues, and help me to walk through, the ungodly beliefs and correcting the things, so I really believe in the value of inner healing. But, this has been such a year of of God just like, let's deal with this. And guys, I know it's been like, some of us, we feel worn down. We feel like it's felt like it's been so much. And it's like, when, and it's like, and I can see it. It's like we had a hard year. We had a hard year, and then we came into September, we're coming into the Jewish New Year, and then there was all of this like excitement, and God like really awakened us, and it was like the light was shone on our dreams, and there was this like, okay, we're going to move in, and there was just this like sense of like, okay, this is the time for entering into our destiny, and it felt like this carrot dangling on a string in front of us, and we've been like, we want to take hold of it, but God's like, yes, you can get there, and this is where I'm taking you. This is your plan, your purpose, and you will taste the fruit of it. However, it's time to deal with the inner stuff. Because where the Lord is taking us, we can't carry the baggage. We can't carry the baggage with us. And so, guys, you can't carry the baggage with you. Don't carry it past this month, November. What's November 20? It's November 26th. Don't carry it even into the Christmas holidays. Yeah, Dina, rip it out. Rip it out. Rip out those roots. Let the Lord come in and do the open heart surgery. And let God do this work and bring it to completion. It's time. It's time. It's time. And it can be a quick work. It can be a quick work. You know, some of us, we are way too afraid. We're so afraid to start dealing with it because we've been so emotionally constipated for so long. We've been holding everything in. And we're afraid that if we let the cork out and we start to feel that we will not be able to put ourselves back together. But know that He is faithful and that He is not going to take you to a place in your process where He's not able to bring you through to the other side and He's not able to put the pieces back together. This is for your freedom and your healing. It's not to break you down or dismantle you, but it is to remove the things and the weights that have been hindering you so that you can run swiftly into this new season that He has for you. Yeah. You like that, eh, Dina? Emotionally constipated. I'm not emotionally constipated. I actually am more the other extreme, maybe like emotionally, a little bit loose. Because I can let it all out. I can let it all out. But yeah, so good, so good. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just want to say hello to a bunch of you. Dina, Benoit, Jenny Joy, Ella Weber, hello. Gail Davies, so good to see you. Louise Van Delden, Louise from Australia. Benoit is from Quebec. We have Tamara from Toronto. Dina is in Florida. Hello, Rebecca. If you're still watching, drop me an emoji or say hello so I know who's still on here. We got 17 people. 17 is the number for victory. Antonella, good to see you. Susan Whitberry Friesen. Hello. Yvonne Much. Is that Louise Lee that I just saw dropped an emoji? So good to see you guys. All right, I'm going to switch her up and do a little personal prophetic ministry here. A little personal prophetic ministry. Yes, victory time. Victory time. And just a quick shout out. I'm not going to belabor this point, but for you guys who are in Ontario, my Emerging Prophets Ontario, check out emergingprophetsontario.com. The school is launching. January 11th is our first class. You need to get your application in. You need to get your tuition paid and join us for the first ever Emerging Prophets Ontario Prophet School. I'm still running my prophetic mentorship group, which is prophetic gift training, but God is shifting me in this season to not just train in the prophetic, but to train in what it means to be a prophet, because God is raising up prophets in every sphere of influence, and he wants to shift the Canadian landscape. There has been such a resistance in this nation to the rising up of the prophetic, and so God is wanting those who are brave, who are bold. It's no longer do we want to have this tall poppy syndrome where those who rise up and try to do anything of significance in the prophetic get cut down, but we want to see not just the Lone Ranger prophets, but prophetic companies and prophetic schools, and to rise up in family and in connection with healthy new covenant foundations. Prophets who are healthy, prophets who are accountable, prophets who understand the difference between the old and the new covenant and prophesy in alignment with the new covenant. So if you're in Ontario, especially if you're in Alliston, Toronto, I have a student in Kingston who signed up. I have a student in at Kingston, Scarborough, Aurelia, Bracebridge, like all over, there's students. Like Kingston, that's 3.5 hours away from me. But I did actually contact the local Nottawasaga Inn Resort, which is in Alliston, and I got a corporate rate for hotel rooms. So, because we do have in-person meetings, so I got a great discount for people who are out of town and would like to, yeah. Anyway, but moving on. But I'm really excited. And so if you're going to be part of the school, hurry up, fill out your application, and I would love to have you. Would love, love, love to have you with us. Yeah, so excited. So excited. It's a new season. It's such a new time. All right. Who is here? Yes. Come on, Canada. Come on, Prophets. Denise Andrews. Denise Andrews. You know, I'm going to poke at you. Go check out my website, emergingprophetsontario.com, because you are very prophetic and you are in Toronto. Actually, I have to tell you, Denise, how long ago is it? I met Denise when I was in university, and through some mutual friends. And Denise, actually, you were the first person who invited me to come and do prophetic ministry, like on my own. And so Denise would hold these like women's like prayer breakfasts, or she'd have like a birthday party and invite friends over, and I would come and I would minister prophetically to them. And so Denise, you have a special place in my heart for seeing what was in me way in the beginning. And that was probably like, I don't know how long ago that was. That was probably at least like 8 or 9 years ago, maybe that started. Awesome. So good. So Denise, you get a prophetic word for that. Yeah, Denise. Yeah. You know, Denise, yeah. Yeah, you've graduated. You have graduated from high school and you are moving on to university. And I just see you moving on. You know, the Lord he's been so, you know, you've been going after him. You've been training. You've been so in this place of positioning yourself before him. And I just hear this, like, you know, you have that sense. It's like that heart cry on the inside, that sense of greatness. Like, what is it? Like, what is the thing? You know, and it's like, there's been like, it's like, I can see it's like you've had little glimpses, little visions of like, oh, it could be this or it could be that, maybe little prophetic words here and there. But some of the things have seemed a little bit disjointed. And it's like, sometimes you've kind of like, you know, if there were like 10 things, you're like, okay, well, I see this kind of like, okay, well, maybe I could do that one and that one. And I just hear this Lord saying like, no, Denise, not just that one or this one, but all of them. Like, go for all of them. Denise, there is so much before you. And I have brought you into this place where I have been so strengthening you, training you, and fortifying you. And I just see him bringing you through this last leg of the journey of the process. And I see him wanting to position you in a way where you can get the right, I just see like the right kind of like training and mentorship and we'll say like spiritual influences in your life that will remove off the ceiling of limitation. And I just see the Lord like, so he's strategically aligning you, and he's going to show you, you're going to start thinking of people. You're just going to have, you might even dream about people, and you're going to be like, wow, I haven't connected with that person for like couple years, but like all of a sudden I feel like I need to. And it's like God is showing you, he speaks to you even in the night, and he's helping you to put together all of these disjointed puzzle pieces, you know, and I see like in some of the ways, like all these prophetic puzzle pieces in your mind, it seemed like they couldn't possibly be all from the same puzzle. And the Lord says they are. You have not even caught a glimpse of the beauty of the tapestry that is your life and what I have planned and purposed for you. And I just see this incredible invitation to begin again, and to start over and to step into in a full measure kind of a way, in a like full, like like no more like trying things out, like wading into your knees, but like jumping in with both feet. And I just see the Lord, you know, he's lifting off a ceiling of limitation off of you. And I see him like, yeah, kind of like like reversing things, like bringing you out from under where it's been this like top down kind of religious, like, okay, we got the people at the top, and then, you know, but you're just down here and we're going to keep you, you know, this kind of mentality. And he's flipping it. And he's going to shift you in a light, and you're going to find heart connect with some people, some true, you know, apostolic and prophetic, you know, who say like, hey, yes, we are your mothers and fathers, but we're not over you to keep you down, but we're going to be the floor. We're going to be the foundation, and they're going to champion you on, Denise. And I just see these ones, he is flipping it, and they're going to cheer you on to step into the fullness of your destiny, because there's so much, I see generational inheritance and blessings. And I just see the Lord breaking the back of the poverty spirit and inviting you into this place of abundance that you have not barely even dared to dream or imagine. And he says, call in that which has been set aside for your family line. I just see storehouses that have been set aside specifically, and there's been a holding back. But the Lord says that if you call to me, I will release it, and you can have of the storehouses of heaven and what is available to you. So Denise, reach up and take what is yours. Take what is yours, Denise. Take it, take it, take it, take it. Whew. Yeah. Whew. Hello, Leisha Jones, Kayla Lopez from Jamaica. Kayla's in Jamaica. Tamara Bali, Walter Williams. You know, I tell you, I'm not jealous at all that you're in Jamaica. Not at all. You're just a little bit, you know. But I was looking, I may have been Googling Black Friday sales, all-inclusive vacations. I was like, you know, there's got to be a all-inclusive vacation somewhere, you know, that Jenny can go away after Christmas, you know, and disappear for less than $2,000, but I couldn't find any. I was looking. So guys, if you can find, you know, I'd love to go to Mexico or, you know, Dominican or something like that, but I don't know. I thought I deserved it. But man, the prices are just, you know, I'll just have to wait until next summer maybe. But yeah, get a good suntan, because, you know, you're not going to get one when you come back to Canada. All right. Yes, I do need to go on a vacation. And I was hoping, you know, I was like, maybe I could go on a vacation before I launch the school, because once school launches, you know, it's Asia. Where did that come from, Diane? Asia. Why would I go to Asia? Are there all-inclusive vacations for cheap in Asia? Michael, Belize. That sounds a little bit more. I don't know much about Belize, but that does actually sound quite lovely. Yeah. No. All right. Who is next? Okay. Leisha Jones, I'm not sure where you're from. I think I've seen you on here before. Can you remind me where you're from? Leisha Jones. Yeah, Leisha, I'm going to prophesy over you. Just taking my slippers off here. Get a little more comfortable. Leisha, you guys like my lion? If you haven't noticed. I love this picture. The lion of the tribe of Judah, who roars over us. Love it. Okay, Leisha, you're in the UK. Well, prophesy all the way over there. Leisha. Yeah. Yeah. You are, man. The Lord is, I just see him, he's so prepared you, he's so set you apart. And he is just like, he is about to put you on display. And it's like, I can feel the like the yes, the cry of your heart, that deep yes, like, Lord, everything, whatever. And this cry of like, I have not understood, of whatever you've had to navigate in the difficulty, challenge, but there's just been this surrendered, beautiful cry of your heart. Yes, God, have your way, have your way. And it's like the pressure has been so immense, but you are that diamond that is forged under pressure. And it's like, it's kind of been hidden from your eyes, Leisha, in some ways, like exactly what God has been working out in you. And it's this thing of like, sometimes he has to hide from our eyes exactly what he's doing and how people see us so that we don't get proud, And so I see like he's been protecting your humility by kind of like veiling like the glory that is you and that is within you. But I hear that the time of the unveiling is coming and that he is going to show you and he's putting you on display. And I just see him like, it's like, I just feel like he wants to just settle, like there's no selfish ambition in you. And it's not self-promotion and it's not any of that, And so I don't know if there's been words or accusation of any of that or kind of like, questioning of motives and intentions, but the Lord has been doing such a beautiful and a deep refinement in you. And it's like, and it's, you've been pulled back. You've been pulled back, but he is going to release and he is going to launch. And I just see him pushing you forward and he is going to announce you and honor you. And he is shining the light of his glorious presence on you. And it is going to be, I just see it's like, for any question or doubt or people who have wondered about your motives or questioned what you're doing, I just see like him shining so radiantly out of you that just like the purity of who you are and the fruit of your life is going to just like, it's going to shut the mouths of accusers. And so I just see that, like, I just see, the enemy's mouth being silent and the Lord really, man, there's such a thing of protection around you in this season. And I just see you like hedged in, but it's almost like this fortress that he is like building around you. And I see that, he's started it and he's going to continue. And it's a wall. It's like a fortress. I think part of it is angelic and that kind of protection, but also elements of it is like even intercessors. I don't know if you have a strong intercessory team. Maybe, if you don't, you should look into networking and connecting with one with your close friends, because I see this thing of like this wall of protection that's going to be surrounding you, and it's going to need to be there and be in place. And the Lord is going to show you. Actually, I'm seeing like 4. I feel like there's 4 very key people, strategic relationships that you're going to walk in forward in this season. And I just see it's like 4 people that are really going to be like pillars for you and are going to have your back in this season. 4 that are like armor bearers. And I just see the Lord, there's been, it's like there's been a lot of shifting and realigning, and you've been kind of like, okay, like who are my people? Where am I going? But it's like I see this like 4 emerging and going forward with you. And they might be in different like areas or avenues of your life, different spheres of influence, but it's like God is connecting you and he says, you're not alone. I am like, you're not alone. I am partnering people, the right people with you. And I just see, I just see him, as he's bringing in these right people, it's going to like kind of heal some of the like residual pain from like the ones that you thought were the ones you would move forward with, but that are no longer with you. And so I just see him really bringing some like key relational connectedness that is really going to bless you and protect you in this season, because where he is taking you, you cannot go alone. And he says, you are not alone. You are not alone. Yeah. So bless you with that. Bless you. Awesome. And I'll have to go back and read. Wow. I'm gonna have to go back and read your comment, Louise, because that your vision. Wow, so good. All right. Who is next? Who is still on here? Hello, John Doyle. Good to see you from New Jersey. All right. Do we have Canadians on here? We got Canadians on here. All right, scrolling. All right, John Doyle. You're not Canadian, but there you are. John. Good to see you. Move to Canada. Move to Ontario. You can join my school. Emerging Prophets Ontario School. Come on. It's going to be awesome. John, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, John, I just see you putting I can see you putting together all the, it's like links of a chain. I just see you putting these links together. And I just see, it's this thing of connecting that the Lord has given you. And he's calling you to be a connector. And I just see him so strategically aligning you. So strategically aligning you in so many different areas. And it's like you're bringing different people's destiny, different people from different parts and places. And it's like you're making these divine connections and connecting people. And it's like, I just see like the world has gotten so small to you, because it's like you have this global perspective, and this kind of I see like an international even kind of call. And it's like, I see you really working with ministers, but also kingdom entrepreneurs, and helping people to, being able to see what are the missing pieces, what are the needs, where can people come up higher, where are they lacking, and how to connect them with the right people and the right resources so that they can be fully resourced and equipped to, to launch successfully their business or their ministry. And so I just see you really connecting people, and it's like God gives you eyes, okay, these people are like-minded, these people are even very opposite, complementary. And so it's I just see you being able to really see people's strengths and people's weaknesses, and to be able to connect them. And I see you forming these unbreakable chains, and it's these kingdom chains. And so it's it's God has called you. I feel like he shifted you out of a season in the past where it's the focus was on the chain, breaking the chain, demolishing the breaking the chains of the enemy. I mean, you'll still help people to get free from chains, but I see there was a focus on on the breaking and the dismantling, and now the focus is on the putting together, the building, the connecting, and the Lord is really on it, and he's giving you a spirit of wisdom and revelation just to see and to know, who needs to be connected with who, and what resource needs to be connected with what person. Yeah. You got some seriously powerful kingdom networking in your future. Yeah. Awesome. Hello, Michelle Lee, Angela Hollema. Yeah, awesome. Well, so good, guys. We got 17 people, so 17, number of victory. Awesome. You know what? I think I'm going to say goodnight and prepare to get to bed. But if you missed the beginning, then you can go back and listen to the more corporate prophetic word that I released. Give it a listen. Because God is wanting to do some things, some finishing touches in our hearts before we close out this season and move into the next. So give that a listen. Thanks so much for tuning in, and love you guys. Appreciate you. Have a great night.